hope that after last year, most of everyone is aware of who Billie Eilish is. You know, the 7-time Grammy winning and 2-time Oscar winning pop and alternative singer. Well, here's her story and how she got to where she is today. Starting from the very beginning in her early childhood, Billie always had a musical upbringing, with her parents and older brother all being musically inclined. But music wasn't her only passion growing up. Billie danced ballet, tap, jazz, hip-hop, and contemporary up until she had a really bad injury that forced her to stop dancing and put all her focus on music. Her older brother Phineas was actually the one that got her into music officially. He's always been her rock in general, and they've always had a very, very close relationship, so it's easy to tell why that would be true. But at the time, Phineas was in a band, and they made a song called Ocean Eyes. But he believed that Billie's voice really fit better for the overall vibe and everything about this song. So they recorded the song and uploaded to SoundCloud so that Billie could also use it for her dance class. Surprisingly, the song blew up, and they commercially released it exactly a year later in 2016. After that, they started to create an extended play called Don't Smile at Me, which was released in 2017. And of course, that ended up being successful with it reaching number 14 on the Billboard 200. Billie would release a few singles over the next 2 years, like Come Out and Play and Lovely, which eventually led her to releasing her debut album, When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go, in March 2019. This album had a generally dark and dreamlike vibe with multiple extremely successful songs, but one definitely stuck out, Bad Guy, which ended up being number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100, and the album also got number 1 on the Billboard 200. And it wasn't just in the charts that Billie was hitting, also in her awards. This album gave her 5 Grammys, including Album of the Year, and at the end of that era, Billie released No Time to Die, which was featured in the James Bond movie. It was one of the first songs where we can genuinely see Billie's vocal range and ability to belt. That song ended up getting a Grammy for Best Song Written for Visual Media. Not to mention, it gave her her very first Oscar, and I say first because as you'll see, she ends up getting another one along the way. But then, COVID hit. This postponed a documentary called The World's a Little Blurry that Billie had been producing with Apple TV for about 3 years, but it was later released in February 2021. It was all about the process of making her debut album and what was going on with her life before and after its release. During this period, Billie also started writing her sophomore album, Happier Than Ever, and this was very different from her debut album with a somber and self-discovery-esque vibe instead of a dark and somewhat eerie atmosphere. She turned away from her classic neon-rooted black hair into an angelic blonde. With the release of this album in July 2021, it debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200 and was nominated for Album of the Year at the Grammys. Almost exactly a year later after releasing Happier Than Ever, Billie decided to release another EP called Guitar Songs. This EP only had 2 songs on it, TV and The 30th. Both songs charted on the Billboard Hot 100 and was praised by critics. In July 2023, the Barbie movie was released, and with that came Billie's featured song, What Was I Made For? It got a Grammy for Song of the Year and reached number 14 on the Billboard Hot 100. This song invoked a sense of vulnerability and despair while capturing the sense of family and connection for the Barbie film specifically. What Was I Made For gave Billie her second Oscar, making her and her brother Phineas the youngest people to ever have 2 Oscars. By this point, everyone was looking forward to Billie dropping her up-and-coming album that we have been waiting for almost 3 years, and she finally released her third album, Hit Me Hard and Soft, in May 2024. This album really set Billie Eilish's place in the music industry and opened up even more people to her music. It caused her to become number 1 in the world on Spotify. Sadly, it was nominated for Album of the Year, and everybody agreed that she definitely deserved the award, but somehow Beyoncé won. But besides that, Hit Me Hard and Soft had a lot of intensity yet softness to it, just like the title. I would say overall Billie Eilish is one of the best modern artists out there and definitely deserves the praise and recognition she gets. I'm excited to see what she will bring to the table over the next few years, and I already know her future career will be amazing and inspirational just as it already has been.